So Dan, you know what's funny? We have a marginally successful theory show, and we have awesome listeners, and we've come to a pretty sobering fact. Our listeners are a lot smarter than we are.
Yeah. All right. Since you guys were so awesome with all these comments and theories on the last video, Bill and I decided we had to jump in and do a kind of what would you call this, Bill?
I would say this is like a status check. In what just happened, our format is that we obviously react to the live events, but sometimes that takes away from us maybe looking at the overarching picture. And our awesome commenters and fans have done a really great job, especially the last 2 weeks, of really pointing out some
Yeah.
theories and overarching ideas we haven't thought about. So we thought, let's do some service to our fans who have been giving us awesome ideas, and let's give that some air and let's talk about it.
Yeah. So, if you want us to do more of these, then just keep commenting, and we'll do it as we go. And so that way we can focus to what just happens on, what just happened in the episode, and we don't have to
Mhm.
talk about the comments and stuff. We can do it, midweek or something like that. So if you guys want more of this, just comment more, and we'll do it. So, all right,
Yeah.
first up, T and LW. I
Mhm.
agree that the doll became Jericho 2.0. Leanne has also been working on something with the mannequin upstairs in the attic, dressing it up, talking to it, etc. So this person agreed with me, so I
Mhm.
put them first.
Yeah, well, of course, that's what a good host does.
Yeah, and then I told this person because the prior week we had made that prediction that the mannequin will eventually turn into Leanne's mom. So that was like kind of something that we were on the same wavelength anyway. So
Yeah.
this person's obviously new, and so I mean, what do you think about that? Do you think are you more convinced now, or
Listen, I mean, like everyone knows, and first of all, TNLW, thank you for the comment. I Nothing's off the table for me so far. Like I said last week, Dan, at this point, things we've been seeing, nothing is off the table for me. I agree with him in his respect, or her, whoever, it's obviously a little bit
vague?
big, but the idea that they continue the theory by saying Leanne is definitely not Leanne from Wisconsin. We've talked about
Right.
that as well. If her mother's gone and she wants her mother back, and she sees Dorothy, and she's been made it very clear that Dorothy is an unfit mother to Jericho 2.0, whatever you want to call it. That is very plausible. Like I said, and it's something that it's a good parallel that I didn't consider. I mean, what do you think, bud?
Well, yeah, and then they continue because this conversation continued, and when she said, "I don't think she's a girl from Wisconsin. I think she is something else, maybe not human at all," and that's going to be a current. That's going to be a theme in this video because someone else says something like that later.
Mm-hmm.
But she said when she spoke of her mother last episode, she said nothing of a father who also died in a fire on the farm in Wisconsin. Roscoe and Julian did not follow up in Wisconsin to find out if the body was actually buried in Leanne's grave or tombstone. So there's plenty of things here that sprout. So that's going to lead us to our next comment because
Okay, cool.
I didn't think of this at all. Mickey House comes in, blows my mind. Okay, Mickey House blew my mind.
This is a good one.
They are all angels that have been casted down to earth. Leanne is the fallen angel and most likely Archangel Gabriel. She has been assigned to do tasks for God, but keeps straying and abusing her powers, as a fallen angel would do. She goes from one place to another to protect those who need protecting. She was at that house to protect the children, as you saw that the woman was on a lifeline, and she even said they needed me. Another point is that when Uncle George said, "We are everywhere," so I truly believe they are angels, but only Leanne has free will as a fallen angel, and she disobeys God. And when she does, she punishes and whips herself. So we've seen her whip herself, and we've seen the cult whip others. So maybe that is some sort of punishment that they do to people when they're out of line, and she's just taking care of herself because she knows that she's wrong. So what do you think?
I love the idea, and again, it's maybe naive of me that I wasn't really looking into religious allegory. However, anyone who's anything familiar with the Christian faith, Archangel Gabriel, there are a lot of parallels there if you're going to choose to take that assumption. A fallen angel, an angel that has to self-punish, has to go through a self-reflective journey, but also an angel of arrogance. it's just so cool because if we're gonna find out, that really takes it. It almost gives me like an American Gods vibe. If you're gonna go that way, like these are literally, if you're gonna say that if Leanne's and angels, I mean Uncle George and May, and then they're angels as well, and they're playing a serious game. So if you're playing that game, then you would have to assume then George and May are maybe older angels. It really piqued me. I don't know if they're gonna go specifically Christian allegory. I think there could be, like I said, some sort of, illusions and things of general themes, archetypes. I'm not sure if they're going to go specifically angels, and I wouldn't be upset if they do. But again, it's just really, it's really a testament to how great the show is, and also how awesome our like viewers and guys are that these ideas come up, because it's presented so masterfully that it could have many different people, their own views of it, their own interpretations, and that's what is one of my favorite parts of the show.
Yeah, well, me too. And there's so many different ways to look at it. So Mickey House's comment led for SG Castle to comment. If that's the case, basically, that would mean that in this universe, the devil is a woman and is Leanne's mother. Remember, she said that her mother always played the game and always won, to show that she is the exceptional one. When the guy asked her what happened to her mother, like you said earlier, her answer was she burns.
Burns, yep.
The mother seemed to be prideful and then fell by God and burned in hell. So, I mean, this just takes it to a whole nother level. And then we have the other side of this. Okay. So NM comes in and comments, Leanne does not have supernatural powers. The cult is just a cult filled with nutcases. Leanne went to live with the cult when she was a child and was isolated and brainwashed. She ran away once and they found her with Dorothy. They found her again with when Dorothy kidnapped her. Leanne found out about their problem from the valet and stole that baby from the cult and gave it to Dorothy. When Leanne found out how Jericho really died, she had no sympathy and lost all respect. So, I mean, that is also possible. That is also possible. I mean, we've seen the way she feels about Dorothy. She obviously does not think highly of her, especially after this season. All the shit she put her through. So that's also a great point. It could go either way.
So I had said to you even pre-recording, we all have to remember, we love M. Night Shyamalan. We do. But we also have to be fair. Guys like our age in our 30s and stuff, we grew up literally going to all of his movies in the theaters. And more often than not, we were pissed off and annoyed at most of his endings. There are the classics that we all remember and want to revere. And right now, for all intents and purposes, Servant's a classic for us. We wouldn't be doing the show if it wasn't. But there is a little sick part of me that wants there to be something in this vein where it is that like they are more crazy than they think, or there is less going on. Now, I can't go as far as their opinion for SG Castle, because we've seen the bugs, we've seen the cracks, we've seen the him losing his feeling in his hand. We've seen some supernatural things. So I get the vein, and I there is the sick masochist part of me that like would love something like that. But you're gonna have to meet in the middle if I'm talking to SG Castle specifically. I think it's dope, and I actually love the idea. So keep it up, and I love the skepticism. Skepticism is good. It keeps the show honest, so I like it.
Yeah, I mean, comment on this one and further your.
Tell me I'm full of shit. Tell me I'm an asshole.
Yeah,
that's fine.
Further the explanation. So should we get to our OG guy here?
Yeah, let's go. Let's do him. Let's do our boy.
Okay, so Steel 510 Rain, you've been commenting, liking since we've been putting these servant videos out. A woman or man, whatever you are, thank you so much. We appreciate you. So you say, welcome to the jungle. The fact Uncle George says his plan, which you pointed out in this recap or in this review, while Aunt May says you're our servant to Leanne, even knows the when, season 1, episode 10, makes me go, I also can't wait to find out if the shooting happened because Leanne wasn't there anymore. If the shooter was actually looking for Leanne, or if she was assigned to be there to bring someone who gets shot back to life once it happens. So, I mean, I think they're spot on there. The shooting happened because Leanne was not there. We have enough evidence to prove that. Leanne said, I gotta go. They need me. And then after it happens, Uncle George goes, look what you did. So I think they're spot on there. Anything to add for that?
Obviously, I think Leanne was a deterrent. We all know Leanne is a force. We don't know the dynamics at play. We don't know There, at some point, Dan, we're gonna have to find out. There's got to be some kind of opposing forces here. It's not just the family here in the Jericho situation and the cult. There is something that they are afraid of too, and it's involving Leanne. So, in kind of common sense, there's got to be some kind of opposing force. Hell, demons, another cult, whatever. But there is something that they're so deadly afraid of. And it seems that these locations or these specific families are very important. So if we're going to go with the location being very important, that family were some kind of caretakers or the children were important. It's either the children were very important, Leanne's younger, so it leads us to think that, or the location. They make a big emphasis on their house being the main house being very important. And like you had her there, but they had her there and they were very insistent on her being there. They don't really mention the family very much, but they're like, she needs to be there where she is.
Right.
There is some, I want to use a vague term, but cosmic balance at play here. And I just,
yeah. I mean, Uncle George is shook. We talked about that. I don't think he's scared of any human. And there is a thing of fear of God. Fear of God is a saying. So the angel thing is in play here. It really is.
Leanne is like, I was trying to, the point I was kind of almost emphasizing. I'll do a little cross reference here for people that Leanne is like Wanda Maximoff. She's like the nexus being of this universe, at least how they're presenting her right now, where her presence, where she is, has a positive or negative effect on the location, on the people around where they are. And there's more to that. And I'm thinking if she's the yin, there's probably a yang, and that's what I want to know what the yang is. Besides Dorothy, Dorothy's pretty yangy to me too. She's powerful.
Me too. Yeah. And then Mandy Sebeski jumps in on this thread as well, which I love the back and forth. Keep it coming. This is amazing. So Mandy goes on to say, Dorothy wants her baby. I'd probably do the same. Anything to get my child back. You have to wonder though. I can't believe that Uncle George and Aunt May are good. Lan was running away from them. When she went to the Turners, she wanted to run away, and we've talked about that again. We've talked about that before. That she ran away for a reason. That definitely is a fact, Mandy. You are correct. George and Aunt May, I don't know. Something happened to the children in the Marino house. I don't know. Why is Uncle George always dirty? It's kind of like obviously. It's kind of like what's his name?
The Julian. Yeah. Julian's clean and wet, and Uncle George is dirty.
Yeah, and dry. Agree, this show, its core is about parenting and mistakes people make and how people perceive it. I love this show. And Mandy, I totally agree. I mean, being a good parent and the fact that certain people shouldn't be parents, I believe to be one of the main takeaways of the whole show. Whether or not there's angels involved or not, I feel like that is one of the most important meanings behind the show. And then we went on to ask Steel Rain what else he wants to see. He said WandaVision. If you guys don't know, we're gonna do the last 2 episodes of WandaVision. What just happened style. The last episode will probably be a half an hour. The second to last one will be our normal format. Peter Griffin, you've been commenting a lot as well. Thanks a lot. He just says, I just hope it wasn't Toby who shot up the Marino house, believing he's doing the right thing for Leanne and ruined his life. Toby's not like that. You're good.
No,
you're good. You're
no
clear.
Shot. No, you're good, bud.
No worries on that.
Rest easy,
Peter Griffin. You can rest easy. So rest easy for sure. And Abdelaziz, our boy, he's going to be on episode 200. One of the longtime fans of the Scene Invaders podcast.
Our boy.
Like I said, episode 200 is coming out in a couple weeks.
It's an awesome episode, guys. It's so heartfelt. We cried multiple times while recording, then while editing. You guys are going to love it.
He's all the way from Morocco, and he was the last part of our fan recording. So that was just great. So thank you, Abdelaziz. You're day one. You're a fucking man. And I'm going to shout out the most recent 5 subscribers. Nice. So thank you guys so much for subscribing. We're trying to grow this YouTube channel. Like I said, the podcast has almost 200 episodes. So let's get this YouTube going. We're going to do it weekly. So Karina Apis, Manas Biswal, Donna Holden, Leslie, and Parker Bowles. Thank you guys so much for subscribing, and we'll see you on Friday.
See you guys Friday.